The era of the underdog is over, the age of African dominance in global sports has arrived, and the Springboks are the ultimate vanguard of this new reality. When we talk about Siya Kolisi and the South African national team, we aren't just talking about rugby, we are witnessing a masterclass in Pan-African soft power that is shaking the foundations of Western-centric sport dominance. We are diving deep today into a massive victory and a significant challenge. South Africa just secured a hard-fought 10-17 win against Argentina in a thrilling encounter in Buenos Aires. While the scoreboard shows a victory, the narrative goes much deeper. We will be analyzing the tactical brilliance of the Springboks, the physical toll on their stars, specifically the injury to captain Siya Kolisi, and why this specific moment is a turning point for African influence on the global stage. To understand why this win in Buenos Aires matters so much, we have to look back at the history of South African rugby. For decades, the Springboks were a symbol of defiance. They didn't just play for a country, they played for a movement. In every scrum and every tackle, they represented the resilience of a people who refused to be sidelined by global powers. Today, that spirit has evolved. It is no longer about proving they belong at the table, it is about showing that Africa can own the table. The victory against Argentina wasn't just about points, it was a statement of tactical superiority and physical dominance that many in the West are struggling to replicate. Now, let us look at the current situation. The 10-17 victory against Argentina was not an easy win. It was a grinding, tactical battle. The Springboks had to navigate a hostile environment and a highly motivated Argentine side. But what truly stood out was their discipline. They didn't just rely on raw power, they showcased a level of strategic depth that has become the hallmark of African sports excellence. However, this dominance comes at a cost. The news of Siya Kolisi's injury ahead of the upcoming New Zealand series has sent shockwaves through the rugby community. But here is what the Western media often misses. In the African context, an injury to a leader like Kolisi isn't just a roster problem, it is a test of depth. It is a test of whether the system we have built can withstand the loss of its primary face. Like this video help more Africans see this story. Let us talk about the key players involved in this narrative. Siya Kolisi is not just a captain, he is an icon of Pan-African leadership. When he steps onto that field, he carries the aspirations of millions across the continent. His ability to lead under pressure makes him one of the most respected figures in global sports today. Then you have the core of the Springbok squad, men who have been forged in the fires of high-stakes competition. Their performance against Argentina showed a collective intelligence that is making it harder and harder for traditional powerhouses to keep pace. The New Zealand series looms large, and while Kolisi's injury creates uncertainty, it also highlights the incredible depth of talent currently residing within the South African ranks. But why does this matter so much to us in Africa? This is where we hit the core of our mission. When a South African team dominates on the world stage, it isn't just a win for one country, it is a victory for the African spirit. It is a message to the West that African athletes are not just talented, they are disciplined, they are tactically superior, and they are physically unparalleled. This is what we call the Africa Rising narrative. Every time a Springbok scores, every time Kolisi leads his team through a grueling match, it dismantles the stereotype of the underdeveloped African nation. We see this in sports, but it is spilling over into our politics and our economy. When we win on the grass, we gain leverage in the boardroom. We are building a brand of excellence that demands respect from international partners. The Springboks are becoming ambassadors for an Africa that is confident, capable, and ready to lead. What does this mean for the future? It means we are no longer asking for a seat at the table, we are building our own table. The upcoming series against New Zealand is the perfect stage to prove that the momentum isn't slowing down. Even with Kolisi's injury, the infrastructure of African sports, the coaching, the training, and the sheer will of the athletes is at an all-time high. We are entering a decade where Africa will be the primary source of inspiration for the global youth. Subscribe for honest, Pan-African analysis you won't find on CNN or BBC. The world is watching. They see the grit in Buenos Aires. They see the pain of the injury, but they also see the refusal to back down. The Springboks are not just a rugby team, they are a blueprint for how Africa can compete with anyone, anywhere, and win. We will continue to watch this journey closely, because every victory on the field is a step toward a more powerful, unified, and respected continent. Check out this next video where we break down how African investment in sports infrastructure is creating new economic hubs across the continent. The rise of Africa is not just a dream, it is happening in real time. What do you think about Siya Kolisi's leadership and the impact of the Springboks on our continental pride? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on how we can further leverage these sports victories for Pan-African growth. Let's keep the conversation going. Outro music rises.